Hey, you guys! I am back with another video, and this is part 2 of the 3-part series, What Every Woman Should Know by the Time She Turns 40. I am LaTersa Blakely, and on this channel, we talk about all things on how you can live your best life. So if you are an ambitious woman and you're a woman on a mission, if you're a mom and you're trying to live your best life, then this channel is just for you. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit that bell notifications, and let's jump right into it, shall we? All right, so we're going to continue on the series of 15 things every woman should know by the time she is 40. And so, listen, this is part 2. If you missed part 1, I'm going to put it right here and I'm going to put it below in the description box. But here's part 2. The first thing today that we're going to talk about is being intentional about your self-care and self-love needs. And here's what I say. We as women, we have so much on our plates. You know, some of us are wives, moms, best friends, sisters, all of those things. And we're always constantly taking care of somebody else. And it's very easy for us to leave ourselves on the back burner. And myself included, I've done it so much, you guys. And self-care, when I say self-care and self-love, I'm talking about taking some time out for your mental capacity. Like, self-love to me is really getting to the core of who I am as a woman. And just like you, get into who you are at your core being, like the woman that you were meant to be. It takes time. It takes you being alone with yourself. And that is one of the issues that I see so many women, they are so afraid to be by themselves. They gotta have a man on their arms. And it's nothing wrong with that, honey. Love is beautiful. It is beautiful, especially when it's done the right way. And it's with the right man. It makes my heart pump like, I don't know, like I'm speeding down the highway. But it can also be a bad thing if you are not sure about who you are. Because the thing is, you can have the most amazing man ever on this planet. But if you're not sure of who you are and the things that you need as a woman, you'll settle. And I see it all the time, because you guess what? I did it. I'm telling you what God loved. I was such a broken woman in my 20s and 30s. I mean, it was just, to be that broken, it takes a lot of work. And I'm still a work in progress. But what I'm saying to you is, you gotta be okay with being by yourself for a season. It's not healthy for you to go from man to man. It's really not healthy. I'm telling you what God loves. Now, I ain't never did that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is, when you always find yourself in a relationship after a relationship after relationship, and you don't give yourself time to necessarily properly heal, it can be bad. Like, you keep experiencing the same things, but it's just a different man, but the same experiences. And then you keep asking God, why am I only attracting these types of men? You know, men that treat you wrong, men that do all this stuff. And knowing deep down in your heart, you really want an amazing man to love you, to care for you, to really treat you well. But it all goes back to you setting the standards, setting the tone, and taking care of you. You know, are you allowing yourself time to heal properly? Taking self-love is not selfish. Taking time out for yourself to fill your cup up is not selfish. It's self-full. And self-care for me, and I have self-care days every week. That is where I pamper my feet, my nails, you know, I take care of my body, you know, exfoliate, do all that. And that's fun to me. But I take it a step further. I have time with prayer. I have time with God where I talk to him and tell him things that's going on. You know, I have time where I do things that I love to do. Like, I love comedy. Y'all, I can sit up and watch comedy all day long because I love to laugh. Now, years ago, I didn't do that. It wasn't a lot of laughter in my life. And so I had to almost rediscover myself. It takes self-love to do that, because one of the things that really helped me on my self-care journey is journaling. Y'all, I have journals all over my house. I have it in my purse. I have it beside my bed, in the bathroom, because I never know when I'm going to get an idea. And me, I was introduced to journaling years ago when I was in a psych ward, and my psychiatrist gave me a journal and said, if you don't want to talk about it and it's complicated to get it out in words, write it down on paper. And when I tell you, journaling is really one of the things that saved my life, because when you can see your thoughts on paper for what it truly is, you can grasp the concept a whole lot better. So self-love is really getting to know you as a woman, really getting to know all the amazing things, and then some of the things that are not so good, the things that you can begin to work on. But if you don't allow yourself that time to really spend time with yourself, read the Word of God. The Word of God is really one of the other things that saved my life, because growing up, if my parents did not instill that foundation in me, I probably wouldn't be here today. And that's just the honest God truth. But my faith is what really helped me to want to fight for my life. And so when you say you are all about self-love, that's not being selfish. That's not being selfish at all, because if you don't have a healthy love for yourself, or a healthy respect for yourself, you can't expect other people to really expect them to treat you if you're always treating yourself crappy, but then you get mad when somebody else is doing it, because you teach people how to treat you. And so that's why I say sometimes you have, like I was saying, it never fails. It never fails. Every time I start recording, the phone rings. But anyway, as I was saying, having self-love and a healthy self-respect for yourself is not being selfish. It's actually necessary. And then number 2 on everything that you should know by the time, every woman should know by the time she's 40, is know the meaning of true friendships. And I'm not talking about, you know how I see it all the time. They always say women can't support each other, or we always, talking bad to each other, or always, downing the next woman. And I always say having a healthy friendship with women is necessary, because they get you, they get us. We know about each other. And it's great to have male friends too, because a lot of my friends from high school were male friends. And I had my girlfriends too, especially like my cheerleading squad. We were like this. But what I'm saying is, you can have healthy friendships with other women. It's not going to take anything from you. It's not going to make you look bad. If you see your sister over there doing her thing, it's okay to celebrate her. It's okay to congratulate her. I see it all the time at work. It makes me excited when I see another woman doing her thing. It just really motivates me to be better, to be on my A game. If she can do it, I can do it too. It's not a comparison thing. It's just you uplifting another woman. It's nothing wrong with that. I don't understand for the life of me why some of us have such a hard time supporting other women. It's not going to take anything. Can't nobody else dull your shine. Can't nobody do that unless you allow it. But when you see another woman, she dressed nice, or she got some nice shoes on, because we as women, we love to dress. And a lot of times we spend so much time trying to compare ourselves to the next woman, compare ourselves. And when she's doing great, instead of you uplifting her, you got to say something to kind of dim her light, or try to dim her light, because nobody can do that without your permission. But you got to, instead of appreciating her, you got to throw salt on her game. That's so not cute. I mean, I want you guys to start from this point on, myself included, which I've never had a problem supporting other women, because to me, it just makes me want to be a better woman. It doesn't make me want to compete. Now, in my younger days, And sometimes I catch myself when I'm strolling through Instagram and I be like, man, I need to work on my stomach. Cause after you get a certain age and after you have babies, your stomach just don't ever be back in them 20s. It don't ever go back there now. And I don't compare myself, but every now and again I have to catch myself like, look, this is the body I'm working with. I can either choose to get better, do something about it, or stop complaining about it. Because comparing myself to other women, especially on social media, you don't know the behind the scenes. Yes, you show people what you want them to see on social media, and people can glorify you and praise you and do all that stuff. And that's another thing. Real friendships uplift each other. They want to see you do good. They don't necessarily have a negative agenda. And that is something, by the time you turn 40, you should be able to spot if it's somebody that's going to be dirty around your man. You can spot them kind of women a mile away when they are on some mess. I know for me, I can spot mess a mile away. And so for me, what I'm saying to you is, when you get to be in your 40s, even if you're past your 40s or you're younger, work on trusting your gut. Work on trusting yourself and being a good friend. In order for you to have great friends, you got to first be a good friend. That's biblical. In order to be a good friend, in order to have good friends, you got to really be a good friend. So learning how to communicate, that's so key. And I see it all the time. A lot of times the reason why friendships go sour or go left, it's a lack of communication. And that's with relationships and everything. Any kind of friendship or relationship, communication is the key. You got to voice your concerns, your opinions. If something doesn't sit well with you, instead of you holding it all in, you got to be that type of person to voice your opinions. And the next thing that you should know by the time you turn 40 is being able to trust yourself. Trust yourself that you will make the best decision for you. Trust your gut. Trust that intuition that God blessed us with. Trust yourself that you will make the best decision for you. And I always say this all the time. I'd rather make a decision that I'm confident in, that I know that I feel is best for me, than to listen to 50 other people. I hate it with a passion to be indecisive. That's one of my pet peeves. I don't like to be around people who can't make a decision. It irks me. Like, just make a decision. Like, just say what you want to do and do it. You don't have to ask 50 million people to help you make one decision. So I've learned over the years, even if I make a decision and it turned out to be not so great, I still feel good knowing that, I made the decision. I thought it was best for me and my family, and I'm okay with that. And that's what you have to learn how to do. When you make a decision, trust that it's okay if it turns out not the way you wanted it. At least feel good knowing that you made the decision. Because when you start to ignore your gut, ignore that intuition, that little, just say for instance, and I'll give you a prime example. Y'all know I always have a story, but I think I was driving somewhere. It may have been a few years ago, but I had this heaviness on my heart that this particular person on my mind was in trouble. And it's like this person kept coming up on my mind, and I pulled over and I started praying, and come to find out the person had died. You see what I'm saying? So when you have that intuition and something, and you have something that's heavy on your mind, you need to act on it, because that's God's way of telling you He's trying to get your attention. Either He's trying to warn you about something or something. So anytime you have that little nudge in your heart when something's not right, trust your gut. 9 times out of 10, something probably is not right. And I always use relationship, because we as women, we tend to look over the red flags. We see the red flag all up in our face. But what we do, we want to ignore it because we want it to be better. We want the relationship to last. And I'm speaking from experience, you guys. I can't speak for you, but I know for me, in my last relationship, The signs were all around me. But your girl over here didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see it because that wasn't what I wanted to see. I wanted the relationship to work. I wanted us to grow old together. Maybe even have 1 or 2 more kids. No, I ain't gonna say 2. I'm gonna say 1. God, I blessed my husband with 1, but I don't know about that 2. I have 2. I'm content. But I wanted my relationship with him to work so badly that I looked over the signs. You can tell when a man don't love you no more. I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see that. I wanted what I wanted, and I wanted what I wanted. That's all I can say. I saw the red flags, but I still wanted to believe the best. I wanted to believe the good. I didn't want the relationship to end. But when you know in your heart that something's over, you have to trust your gut. That God has something better in store for you, that God knows exactly what you need. And you, because you can't see it, because when you're in love, you're just in love. And I just tell you, love, you become blind. Love, I'm telling you, love is so powerful. You can see the good in the worst of person. It could be the worst of the worst person. But when you in love, honey, you see all kind of good stuff. You probably be making up stuff. But what I'm saying to you is, trust your gut, you guys. It won't steer you wrong. Trust yourself that you can make a decision that is best for you. And you won't have to go through things that I've went through. You won't have to go through hardship. You're going to have some bad times, because we're all human and we're not going to walk this earth and not have any kind of trials. But you can help maneuver yourself by bypassing some of the heartaches by trusting your gut. And will it hurt? Yes, it probably will hurt. Because when you're having to make a decision that's going to not affect only you, but your children as well, yes, it hurts. But what I'm saying to you is, trust yourself that you know what's right and what's best for you. And when you trust yourself, you can lay down at night peacefully. You can lay down at night knowing that, you know what, I made the right decision for me at this moment. And be okay with that. And the next thing you need to learn about things every woman should know by the time she's 40 is, you need to know how to process your own thoughts. Like, you need to be aware of the thoughts that are going on in your mind. Because a lot of times, the reason why we are not happy, or the reason why we are so depressed and not fulfilled as a woman, is because we have a lot of negative thoughts going on in our head. And it's just the way a human mind is really set up, is we draw or gravitate more towards the negative stuff than we do the positive stuff. So you got to learn how to reprogram your mind. You got to learn how to think and stop yourself dead in your tracks when you feel yourself thinking. And see, your feelings will tell you what you're thinking about. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, 9 times out of 10, you're either thinking about something in the past, because I know that was me. Anytime I allow my mind to focus on things that happened to me in my past, things that I didn't agree with in my past, you know, being misunderstood, all those times. Anytime I allow myself to think and dwell on that stuff, I find myself depressed. And what I do is I stop myself dead in my tracks. And what I do is I start to journal. I'm telling you guys, if you don't listen to anything else I say, journaling will save your life. Journaling will help you reinvent yourself. And y'all know I'm a heavy affirmation queen. I love affirmations. I have them all over my house. You know, I have them everywhere. And and this is something I've always wanted to do since I was in college. I want to get me a tattoo on my ankle that has a sunshine and a pink rose. That I love roses and I love sunshine. And I've been scared to do it all these years. Leave me a comment in the description box if you have a tattoo and what was your experience like. Because your girl over here is scared, but I really want one. But affirmations is one of the things that was started me on my healing process. Your words and your thought is what got you to where you are today. So in order for you to have something new, you're going to have to use your words, but you're going to have to use your words to create that future that you want. So if you're always finding yourself thinking negative thoughts about yourself, you got to kind of detox your mind. Sometimes you may have to put your phone down. Sometimes you may have to turn off social media, turn the news off. You got to get so quiet in your mind and dump out all that garbage. Things that have happened to you in your past, whether that was a failed relationship, failed friendships, maybe you were molested as a child, maybe you were raped as a child. Whatever has happened, you're going to have to, and I even go so far as to say recommending you a therapy. And I'm going to tell you the one that I use is Talkspace.com. I've used that for years, you guys. They are licensed therapists because sometimes it helps for you to talk to a complete stranger, somebody that's not going to be biased, somebody that doesn't know you or not attached to your story, and just dump all that garbage out of your mind. And it helps when somebody else can see and hear your story unbiased, because they can give you their opinion because they don't know you and you don't know them. Because sometimes going to family members, you guys, is not such a great idea. They're not going to understand. They're always going to give you biased opinions. Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and go to a complete stranger. And now I'm going to give a disclaimer. I'm not talking about people on social media, because that can be the death and life of you. And I'll give you a firm example of this. And y'all know I'm always transparent. I remember years ago when I first popped on the scene, I was like in my early 20s. And I reached out to this particular life coach, was sharing with her all the stuff that happened to me and my child. Now, mind you, this is way before I even found out more stuff that happened to me as a child that I suppressed. But the stuff that I was dealing with and I was aware of, I was sharing everything in coaching sessions with this particular coach, and come to find out everything that I was discussing with this particular life coach online, she was telling everybody else, like telling people in my circle, telling everybody else about it. And people were inboxing me, telling me all this stuff. And I'm like, what? And it hurt me to my core. Like, I went to, and so in my mind, I thought that the agreement that we signed, like this will be confidentiality, this between the coach and the coachee. And so people were inboxing me, was like, do you know so-and-so was telling people about what happened to you when you was a child and what people were saying about you. And mind you, at this time, I had started going through my healing process. So I was releasing weight. I had dropped like 30, 40 pounds. So in my mind, I was looking good, feeling good. I'm getting all this toxicity out of my life. I'm detoxing from things that no longer serve me. And come to find out, all of my business was on social media. So that is why I'm telling you, be careful what you share on social media, because sometimes it will come back to bite you in the butt. So when I say reach out to a therapist, I'm talking about using places like Talkspace.com, or even locally in your area, going to a therapist in person, not necessarily online. Because again, people can be, and here's the thing, what I came to find out was, not only was she sharing things about what happened to me in my story, she was telling, like other guys will be commenting, saying how beautiful I am. She would go right behind those men that were commenting and tell them about my story, I guess in hopes that they would change their mind about me or something. Like, she was like secretly jealous of me. And I'm saying to myself, like, I don't have anything this woman want, or I don't have anything for her to be jealous, of me about. But you never know, you guys. That's why I say it's so important to really trust yourself and trust your gut. And I started getting all these little signs that things was wrong, because I'm a loyal person. It takes a lot for me. If I say I'm done with you, you best believe you probably did some of the worst of the worst. Because I'm the type of person, I love to see the good in you. But it was just too many signs, and things were occurring and things were happening. and it just wasn't right. And so I cut that short. And I say all that to say this: you have to be willing to do the work on yourself, using affirmations, being able to trust your gut, being able to know when things when you have to cut that cord with somebody. And will it hurt? Yes, it will hurt, because if you had a friendship with somebody or any type of relationship or partnership with somebody for so long, it's going to be hard to let go. But that's where you have to really dig your heels in deep, trust yourself, and you have to understand at the end of the day, in order for you to have a new future, you got to create it. So you got to start speaking out of your mouth what you want, because what comes out of your mouth is what you start attracting to you. So start saying things that you want to happen. I want a loving marriage with an amazing man. I want to travel the world. Whatever your dreams are, ladies, whatever your dreams are, start speaking in that direction. And the more you give feeling and thought to all of that you desire, those things, and God will start placing things and people inside of your life to make those things become a reality. Because when you start thinking about your goals, when you start thinking about your future, your life as you want it now, and here's the thing, the devil will only keep throwing old mess up in your face. Like, he don't have anything new. So he'll constantly try to throw those jabs of your past mistakes, your past failures. And I get questions all the time like, LaTersa, even though you're a divorcee now, will you ever do it again? And I'm like, hell yeah. Like, for real? Like, one man don't stop the show. Like, it's too many amazing men out there for me to give up on love because of one. What? Yes, absolutely yes. I'm going to do it again. It is going to be even better because I know better now, and I'm a better woman now, and I can do things on a different level now. So don't let what happened to you in your past dictate that you can't have the best in your future, because that's the absolute lie. That's the lie from the pit of hell. And then the next thing you want to know by the time you reach 40 is your body is not going to be the same as it was in your 20s. I don't care how much you try to say, and some women, they, some women, they get real self-conscious, about their body, because for me, I know I get self-conscious sometimes because, I had two humans inside of me, and I still have the cut mark because I had cesarean. I still have the cut mark. I still have that little flab on my stomach at the bottom. It ain't really what you call going nowhere. But what I do is, and because I'm trying to psych myself up, y'all. I'm trying to psych myself up to work out, because it ain't really, I'm gonna quit saying it ain't really my cup of tea. I'm gonna say working out is fun, because in my 20s, I could drop weight and get back and bounce back like nothing. But boy, when you get past 30 and you get on up in them 40s, it be like your weight be saying, hey girl, like, how you doing? Like, what we going today? And I'll be like, boo, I ain't really invite you like that. I ain't really want to see you like that. But my little chin, it's got a baby under there, my stomach, I got little rolls. But you know what? I love all of it. I sure do. I love every last inch of me, because at the end of the day, ladies, you cannot expect your body to do the same thing it did in your 20s and your teens. The older you get, you have to put a little bit more effort into working out. And as much as when you get my age, it's not really a fun thing that you want to do, you got to do something. And I do this. I do my jumping jacks. I can't do no crunches. I don't like them. I don't like crunches. But I do my jumping jacks. And sometimes if I'm feeling really extra good, I'll go on the trail. I don't know the last time I went on the trail, but I will say yesterday I did 30 jumping jacks. And I moved. I really did. I moved in my body because you got to move your body, you know, a little bit, you know, when you get my age. And so just be mindful, you guys, that when you turn 40, your body is not going to do the same thing it did in your 20s. And especially after having children, your body is not going to be the same. You can choose to work with the body that you do have now and make it the best possible, you know, by wearing the right garments, wearing the right, you know, things. And, you know, Spanx is like one of my best friends. You know, we talk good together. But, you know, now it's hot. I don't want no damn Spanx on. I really don't. But what I do is I try to make sure I don't eat after 8 o'clock. I try my hardest. And if I do, it's either a smoothie or a bowl of cereals or something like that. It's not nothing heavy. So I do that. So be mindful that your body is not going to be the same that it was in your 20s. And you can beat yourself up about it, or you can choose to love the body that you do have and take good care of it, you guys. And then my last tip is, I said this was going to be a 3-part, but this is a 2-part, is it's okay to support other women. By the time you reach 40, you should be at that point where you don't mind supporting other women. It shouldn't be something that you have to force yourself to do. It shouldn't be something that you have to make yourself do. Supporting other women is not going to take anything from you. And I never understood that. I've never had that problem because I love supporting other women. I mean, I love supporting people, period. But it doesn't bother me to support other women because, I mean, they doing their thing, okay? I mean, she looks good. She looks nice. She's dressed nice. Okay, it ain't gonna do nothing to me. It's not gonna take anything from me because I look good too. I dress nice too. So me complimenting another woman, me saying, oh girl, you did that, that's not gonna take anything from me. And so what I'm saying to you is by the time you reach 40, even if you're not 40 and you're in your 20s and 30s, you can work on these things. I'm still working on these things, you guys, and I'm way past 40. But what I'm saying to you is it's okay to support other women. It's okay to support your girlfriends. It's okay. It's not going to dim your light. Nobody can dim your light. And I tell you, my light is so bright, I may blind some people because I just love the space that I'm in right now. Like, I love my life, the way that it's pending out, the woman that I'm becoming. Like, me and God, we on speaking terms. Like, we talk all day. Sometimes he probably like, girl, can you just shut up for a minute? But I hope that this series really bless you guys. I hope that you learned something from my channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. It really does help my channel. And if you are really serious about getting on that journey of self-love, you can download my affirmation cards and my I Am Enough self-love journal. It will be in the description box below for you guys because it's truly my desire to see every one of you ladies win. I want to see you rock it out. I want to see you have healthy relationships, healthy marriages, great business partnerships, all of that. I want to see you be the best mom that you can be. Remember, you are absolutely enough, and everything that you need is already on the inside of you. So God bless, and I'll see you on the next video. Mwah.